All right, power in the pen. New year, January.
Yay.
What is this, the 4th?
Yes.
2025. Unbelievable. We're in 2025. So it's our first meeting of the new year, first workshop of the new year. Sankofa is the theme. And Nisi's gonna start us off. Come on, Nisi.
Okay. Sankofa, Sankofa, take me back in time. As I'm saying it, my spirit felt filled. All of a sudden, it left my body and whisked me away to 1909, 1901, back
Mm.
in time of the ancestors. The first thing I saw is a black man hanging from a tree. I'm sure he tried his best to flee. He has become a spectacle for all to see. I fell down on my knees, but fell down on my knees by the foot of the tree. My eyes are filled with tears. My heart is filled with rage. I thought to myself, he's free from life's cage. As I traveled further, I came to a plantation. This isn't what God had in mind for his creation. He's being beaten for nothing, treated like dirt. I still see him as a king, but it doesn't stop the hurt. He was hit so hard his wounds were bleeding. God gave him the courage. He didn't have to do any pleading. I commend him for his bravery. Blacks being treated like animals is slavery. As the night fell, his wife is asleep. The master rapes her. All she could do is grab the sheets. Her husband is helpless. His eyes is of fury. Unfortunately, the case will never make it to the jury. My heart dropped from such a horrible sight. That'll never forget. I'll never forget this sight. Although there weren't any bars around their house, without that gun, that white man would have been a mouse. The white man went out of his way to create division. They have made black lives a prison. Unfortunately, our ancestors' minds and their spirits have them that. Unfortunately, our ancestors' mind and their spirits have them invisible chains, ball and chains. This is cruel and unusual punishment. It's insane. I can hear the bloodhounds barking in the woods, looking for what the captures consider their goods. I'm following a sound. I think it's a ringing. It's leading me to the water. It's not ringing, it's singing. I hear wade in the water. I learned this song at a very young age. I was told that Harriet Tubman used this song to get the escaped slaves off the trail into the water so that the bloodhounds couldn't pick up their scent. To escape the bloodhounds, the slaves would often wade in the water. In other words, they would immerse themselves in bodies of water like rivers and streams, eventually washing away their scents that the dogs couldn't track, making it harder for those hounds to follow their trail. They can take away our freedom, but not our minds. We're always been very wise and strong, mentally, emotionally, physically, than the white man. I stopped there. That's all I have.
Oh, wow. All right, Nisi. Woo.
Beautiful.
My goodness. All right. That's so at this point we give her feedback, Miss Janine, and she can't say anything while we're giving her the feedback, but once we're done, then she can respond to the feedback. So that's that. Okay, that's our little protocol. So okay, we'll start with Miss Betty. Please give us some feedback.
Yes, I loved it. It was true, and I can attest to a lot of things she said because I'm from Alabama and I lived down during the time when they had the Jim Crow and all this stuff. You know, I've seen a lot of things too. But I think Nisi did an outstanding job. I'm very proud of you, Nisi. And I can't wait to hear the completion of it because you're telling a story there and it need to be heard. So I really appreciate it. I'm complete.
Mhm.
Lisi, oh, awesome. That is beautiful. I mean, now you trying to getting fancy now because you're rhyming now. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'm so glad all of your talents are coming forth. That was beautiful. And wow, it's like a story I can't wait to read, and I love to know about our history. I didn't know that song was from Harriet Tubman. I remember that song, Wading in the Water. Wading in the water,
Mhm.
wading in the water, children, we are wading in the water. Got to drown my troubles in the water.
Okay.
All right.
Got the rest. I just want to sing you a little bit of that. Can you imagine? I can imagine her singing and people singing,
Mhm.
that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm complete.
All right. Come on, anybody.
So this is Janine again. It was so powerful, so descriptive as well. And I feel like it's almost like you can, like, as she was reading the story, you can like walk in observing everything that's happening. And it's also so powerful in some way where it's connected to historical facts using Harriet Tubman, the hanging fruit, like when you hear that from James Baldwin. And yes, very powerful.
Yes. Okay. All righty. Honey, did you
I
have anything?
Yeah, I agree. The history that was given was excellent. Nisi, I haven't heard you in a while, and it was such a difference. Like you could just hear it. You hear it. You know, the rhyming, the way you just did your description of everything. It makes me want to really hear more. Definitely. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It really was. I love it. Yes.
All
I'm
right.
complete. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I agree all of the above. Thank you, Nisi, for this beautiful journey back. I'm calling it your Sankofa journey. I love the way, and I felt like we were literally on a tour. Like you took us back, and you're like, "Look at this! Look at this situation! Look at this situation! You put us right in that bedroom, right in the rape scene. Took us to the tree. You're showing all the atrocities, the terror, and actually, I think this is a really great time. I think people have been forgetting and they need to be reminded. So I love that you're taking it back. I always want more. You know that. I love the history. I want a little more of the history. There's something you were making me think about by talking about the water. And I mean, there's so many stories about people, some of them jumped to their deaths because if you've seen Roots or any other story, some they jumped right off the ship because they couldn't stand the thought of being a slave or never going home again. There was this one story, and y'all might remember even Beyonce had a song about it, and it was about the Africans who decided they were going to drown themselves, and the whole village, everybody who was in it was in the South. I'm trying to remember which part, but it was historical story. They literally like lined up and marched into the water until they were all drowned. Yeah, it was. Oh man, if it comes to me, I really, that's what I was seeing. So I think like that should be a reference point. That's one of your likes, like, that's a metaphor you refer to. So you have some really powerful references. You could even, and the hanging reminded me of strange fruit, So if you want to, you could use strange fruit as a metaphor. It's so powerful. So I want you also to please think about where else we're going on this journey. Where's it going to end? Does it end in freedom, or is it, or are you going to end it in how it's still some slavery happening, how it's still going on, and whatever you think should be done about it. Like where, so I think you need to think about where you're taking us, because you started out, this is great so far. So you just need to figure out where, what's the rest of your message. What else do you want to let us know? This needs to end, or this is still happening. Who's your audience? Who are you trying to inform? And what is it do you think they need to know? I know that was a lot, but that's what I have to say. I'm complete.
I really appreciate your opinion because it was hard for me to do, and I stopped there and I'm still trying to figure out. But you've given me ideas where to go after there. I wasn't sure whether I would come back to the future, but if I do come back, I still want to highlight the prejudice that's here now. But like I said, I'm thinking about looking into what you was just talking about, all the blacks that killed themselves just to get out of slavery. Since I'm at this part with the water, and then maybe I'll come back after that. But I'll work it out. But I just appreciate your opinion on this because I felt like I was saying, am I jumping around everywhere? I wasn't sure where the sequence was working out the way it should have been, but y'all were able to follow it and
Miss Betty.
understand it. So I'm happy about that because that was my major thing, that I wasn't jumping around, that y'all was, confusing
No.
everybody.
No. No. Excellent. It wasn't confusing at all. You took us to some very poignant places. Hey, Diane.
Hi, hello everyone.
How you doing?
Hello.
So each
Hi.
of them were powerful, examples of terror, during slavery. So that's a real good start, So like I said, if you want to then refer to like how it's still happening, that's you could just do it just like and bring it up to now, but try to end somewhere positive. What do we want for the future? Something like that. So yeah, it'll come to you. But excellent work. It was very, very descriptive. We could see everything. We could hear it. We could understand it. Excellent. Thank you, Nisi.
I want to
you.
say one thing too. I'm sure you all know there are some art exhibits with sculptures. I know in Alabama, excuse me, when we went to the African American Museum and they had an exhibit. I couldn't take pictures inside, but they had an exhibit against the wall with the heads
Yes.
of bodies that drowned themselves,
Right.
And
That's
there's
what I'm talking about.
another exhibit somewhere that's in water. I don't know where that is,
Right.
Kathy. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I'm trying to find
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah, there's a picture of the slave. I
Yeah.
mean, the exhibit, the sculptures, and they're in the body of water
Right.
with
Yeah.
chains around their
Around their neck.
necks,
Yeah.
where they just drowned themselves.
They
Yeah.
drown themselves. They walk in. Yeah.
Thank you for that, because I definitely would plan on using that, because like since I'm at the water at this point, I want to add other issues with the water,
Igbo,
like
the
Kathy
Igbo
said,
people.
before I come back.
Okay.
Okay, thank y'all for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's called the Igbo people, IGBO, the Igbo landing. Or Igbo landing, when when captives drowned themselves to avoid slavery. It happened in 1803.
Okay, Kathy, say the spell that again, because I didn't hear you.
IGBO.
Okay.
Igbo landing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the West African captives drown themselves to avoid being enslaved.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah. So you'll see it, and that's it exactly. There, you see their heads in the water.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. No problem. Thank you. All right. Hello. Let's keep on going with talking, Diane, about our Sankofa again. And people are doing their Sankofa poems. Nisi, this one she just started, and she wanted us to give her some feedback on hers. So it's not finished yet, so she's working on it, and it was really good. So that's a great start. So let's go next. Miss Betty, you ready?
Oh, me?
Okay, you all can hear me,
Miss
right?
Betty.
Miss Betty.
Yeah, I don't know. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, mine is I hear you, Sankofi.
Sankofa.
My Sankofa.
Mm-hmm.
My ancestors are calling me. I hear their cry from the torment of pain, from the whips and lashes, the flesh from their bones, the rivers of blood running down the bodies. Some sacrifice their lives for the sake of families and their children, with the hope of someday the chain would be broken. I hear the cry of my ancestors as they look up to the sky, pleading to the Master, our Creator, when will it end? Was this my purpose, pointing the way for the future generation that would breathe the same air on a new day and time, a testimony of faith that is the only way, coming together in unity and love. The choice was not ours as we built this nation with happiness down the line that we lost focus on our hope. We replaced our faith with clay images where no power can be displayed, like an empty cup waiting to be filled to the mouth of a thirsty nation. Learn from your past, read, walk the road that we traveled, and feel the pain that has fallen from the sweat of an endless day. Take the ancestor's hand and hold it high with the boldness of pride. Write history from the chains and lynchings. Sankofa, I hear you cry. I will rise so high like an eagle in the sky, looking down on an oppressed nation, saying, we will pick up where you left off by the teaching our children the greatness of our people through education and wisdom, by love and affection, remembering those who have been gone, but carrying the Sankofa flag as we walk new in our ancestral hope for a promising future. I hear your cry. I feel your pain today. I will rise in a new beginning where the weak shall cease from troubling. A new hope, a new foundation, a new birth, a new mindset, a new walk. Sankofa, you have paved the way. And now we are united and ready to live in the God's greatness. The one who has all power in his hand by giving his life as he fight for freedom and justice. As the dry bones have shown evidence where life was once known of the Sakofi cry, sounding out from the oppressed. Yes, we are ready to stand strong. We hear your cry. We hear your cry as we move forward with dignity and pride. This new day is just beginning in the recognition of the Sankofa life as now being brought forward as it's been revealed in the life of our future. To the most high power for the uncovered life of the Sankofa heritage, I hear your cry as the laws are being made to protect the life of Sakofi people. Where would we be without the map they left behind? Where would we be? No hope, no glory, no love, no unity, no generation of generation. Sankofa, I hear your cry as I move to higher ground. We made it because of you. Complete.
Thank you, Miss Betty. Please give us some feedback.
Miss Betty, that was awesome. Oh my God. It was so much in there. I can't even think of one thing, but I loved how you used that metaphor about drinking the cup from a thirsty nation. That's one that
Yes.
resonated with me. And then how you talked about the dry bones, which is in the Bible, and the weak shall cease from mumbling. And how you put it all together. That's just amazing. It's beautiful. It was really beautiful. Like I said, it was so much in one story. It was so much. I just can't. I can't go everywhere because it was just so much all in one package. But it was complete. It was beautiful, and I'm complete.
Miss Betty, I have to admit, that's it. It was fantastic. It like Vanetta said, you have so much going on. I agree with all the points she talked about the dry bones and excuse me, but I also want to talk about how you was talking about how you hear their cries. Most people back then they ignored their cries, but you're letting them know we hear you and we sympathize with you, and that really radiate with me because we are still crying and people are still ignoring our cries, but you're letting us know that we have times is going to be better. That these are things I'm getting from what you're saying. Out of even though there's a lot of heartache in what you wrote, there's still what can I say, hope
Yeah,
and
that's the
faith.
hope.
Yeah, it just touched me in that way. I really love your writing because you always speak the truth and it's full of love too. Whenever you write, you can feel your love for whatever you're writing, and that was fantastic, Miss Betty. I'm complete.
I like when you I like that poem that you just talked about, because it's wow, how I see it is the belief, it's the hope and love that you're putting into this one right here, letting people know how things were at one time and the hope that it can be. So I really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna try to find some more information because I have not really found anything on it. But I'm gonna keep looking.
Okay.
I'm complete. I'm complete.
Yes, I also really enjoyed it. So much hope, very hopeful. And you see the greatness, you talk about the greatness of our people as well. You mentioned sisters. And I like when you use the metaphor. You talked about, I guess, drinking. You say something about mouth of an empty nation, like thirst nation. And I think I like that phrase as well.
Okay. And are you done? If you're finished, you can just say, I'm complete.
I'm
Then we know. Okay, somebody else for Miss Betty? Okay, so I'll go. Miss Betty, so much. You gave us so much. I loved, yeah, the empty cup for a thirsty nation, writing history from the chains.
Wow.
Okay, that one got me. We will pick up where you left off. What an amazing, such a beautiful tribute. It's like you're standing before the ancestors, you know, and I felt like you had one hand on them and the other hand on the generations to come. That's how I felt, like you're pulling up everybody, bringing everybody together, and you're promising a future where, you know, some people, you know, they think everything's hopeless, and it's not, you know. So that's what I'm so glad that you said that. Sankofa has paved the way, and yeah, they have, and that's the whole point. We paved the way. If we could get through this, you could get through this, because we've been there, you know. So I love the hope in it, and the Sankofa cry. I love that you keep saying the Sankofa cry, and honoring the ancestors. So the cry is, don't give up. Basically, don't lose hope. And that's, people need to hear that. They need to understand that, and I think it's so powerful. I love it. I love all of the imagery. I love all of the metaphors, all the figurative language, all the biblical references. You worked on this. You know, you worked on this. You packed it in there, and it's a blessing, you know, to hear. So thank you. That's definitely got to go in the book. That's definitely got to go in the anthology. So thank you, Miss Betty. How do you feel about your feedback and what you wrote?
I appreciate everyone for their feedback, and I just only could thank God, because He always give me what to say. That's all I can say, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you all very much for your response, and I know we're all gonna do great jobs, but thank you.
Again, right? That's right. All right, thank you. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's keep moving along. So Vanetta, you ready? You're next. Now you could do Sankofa, you can read from your book, whatever you want to do, or both, whichever.
Do that. I'm going to read my Sankofa. I read it before, but a lot of people didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
Sankofa is a word originating from Ghana. How do you pronounce it, please, somebody? Ghana, is it?
Ghana.
Ghana's Akan tribe, Akan. It means to go back and get, or to retrieve. The phrase is to encourage our people to learn about their past and to move forward. Their Sankofa symbol is a mythical bird with feet forward and head turned backwards. The bird holds an egg in its mouth. The egg represents the future. Another symbol is a stylish heart shape, meaning wisdom, learning from the past to help improve the future. To understand Sankofa as a Black woman, I will explore the African diaspora and learn the history of my African ancestors and descendants taken from their homeland involuntarily to different parts of the world. I decided recently to have my DNA tested by a company called Ancestry.com. After hearing of my sister and daughter's test results from their own DNA, I was excited to learn about mine. I purchased the kit from the company and did a saliva test, which was sent back to the company. After getting my results, it only caused more curiosity, and I was eager to explore more. My ancestral regions were the most exciting. They are as follows: 24% Scotland, 18% Nigeria, 12% Ivory Coast and Ghana, 12% Benin and Togo, 11% Mali, 8% Senegal, 6% was England and Northwestern Europe, 4% Cameroon, 2% Western Bantu people, 1% Norway, and 1% Ireland. Robinette Ferguson fell in love with John Clemens somewhere between Tennessee and Kentucky and had 4 handsome sons. The only problem, it was the 1800s and against the law for Robinette, a white woman of Scottish descent and a mulatto mixed race of white Indian African American, was against the law. Robinette's 4 sons were taken from her and sold as indentured servants to a Captain Skull. The youngest son, Nicholas Ferguson, was my grandfather. Robinette was my great grandmother, and John Clemens my great grandfather. I don't know what happened to my great grandfather John, but stories told down through the years in my family indicate he was a slave of John Marshall Clemens, who was also the father of the famous writer Mark Twain. This is a family mystery that has never been solved. And there is a photograph in a fancy oval case like a time watch. My father had the privilege of showing it to me as a child. It is of a man in a suit with wild, long white hair and a beard. At first glance, I thought it was the famous Mark Twain. As I looked closer, I noticed the man could be his twin, but the man in the picture was a shade darker than Mark Twain. Could it have been his half brother? We all wondered. It was said the picture was of my great grandfather, John Clemens. The family was never able to prove it, though my father, when he was alive, searched historical archives in Kentucky trying to find his own ancestry. My father was very much interested in family roots. I remember him saying he could not obtain the truth in the archives because the real truth was hidden. The more research he did, the less cooperative the white historians were. My grandfather, Nicholas Ferguson, eventually freed himself by running away from his master. There is so much history in tracing my roots and origins, but this is just a piece of the puzzle. Elmina Castle, also known as the Door No Return in Guiana, was a major part of the transatlantic slave trade for over 500 years. Knowing my DNA is connected to the Ivory Coast and Guiana is proof of my ancestors passed this way, captured and taken in chains as slaves. Dahomey, the kingdom of Dahomey, located in West Africa, present day Benin, it's called, was another major place of slave trade. Nigeria, Cameroon, and Chad were part of the Canaan Boris Empire, which was one of the earliest places for slave trading among their own people. Eventually, they joined the transatlantic slave trade. I have so much more to explore, but this is proof of my African heritage and origins that I am proud of. That's it. I'm complete.
Wonderful,
All right.
wonderful.
Yeah, give us some
everybody.
feedback, please. Morning, Kwamina.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, let's give Vanetta some feedback. That's a different approach. All right, I love it. I have
We
forgotten
love
some of
this.
what you said. I heard some more. But yeah, come on.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Miss Betty.
Hey, I really enjoyed it. And I just love how she put it together and she went back and found her own history. That's what's so remarkable about it, too. And one day I would hope to do something like that myself. But you have it down packed, Vanetta, I really loved it, enjoyed it. I could hear more and more of it. The way you put it together was just great. I'm complete.
Yeah,
Oh,
Vanetta, that was very interesting. I got my aunt did a search for our family back in 2015. I have the paper, I just not have sat down to really look at it. All I know that we are part of the Fang tribe. That's as far as I know so far, but I will be, trying to do like you did, because that was just terrific. And there's a lot to find out. I'm curious myself. So what you did is just terrific. And I probably talk to you later about that. Okay, thank you. I'm complete.
Vanetta, that was great. The fact how you put everything in, I know it was felt good to read all of that stuff and learn all of that stuff. Mark Twain. Um, it just seems like it's so they try to cut out our history so much, and whether they want to realize it or not, they have been blending in our culture. But I really love how you went step by step and you told us all about your family members, and it's inspiring when you know that a lot were actually fighting for their freedom, because sometimes you let history tell it. They didn't want their freedom, that they just sat around and did what was told. But when you hear about people that's fighting and running off and getting their freedom, it gives you that encouragement, like, hey, we can do this. We don't have to live like this. So everything about your history, just like I told you the last time, my sister did it too. But I think she did with one, oh, she did do it with Ancestry too. So I need to look into that also. But it's just something that we all really do need to look into to see all about our history. We have basic information about our family, but we need to know in depth, because we probably are owed a lot more than we claim we are owed these days. At least we'll have proof with the ancestry. Okay, this property belongs to my family. Okay, but I really love the way you put it together. I'm complete.
All right.
I really like the introduction where you define what Sankofa is. And in addition to that, you also like describe it to the egg, what the eggs represent, the heart. I love it. And thank you again for help us understand your family, your ancestor, your DNA, and to the percentage. And thank you. I think as you were talking, and I'm like, I always wanted to look into it myself. And I'm like, that's something I really, really want to do. Thank you.
All right, beautiful. Some more responses. Somebody's making a call.
What is it?
What is that? Why am I hearing the phone? Okay. Yeah, that's new. I never had that experience before. Somebody's calling.
I, there's somebody that just came on. I can't see who it is, and I don't see a name to log
Caroline, I'm
in.
sorry. I'm trying to put my name in.
Oh,
Good
okay.
morning, good afternoon,
We're hearing,
everyone.
I guess we're hearing you typing. Good afternoon. Okay.
Oh,
Anybody?
that's not me. I'm not typing.
Else? I don't know what.
Oh, Caroline. Okay, I didn't know who you were. You cut the camera off so quick. I didn't know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. We're anybody else for Vanetta? I didn't go yet. All right. So Vanetta, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, again, another journey. I love that you're looking at. I want to hear more. I love that the explanation. I love all of the. I mean, what you really are revealing. All I could think of is, America. That's what we're made up of. Our ancestors are African, and this crazy and peculiar institution that they had going here of slavery. It created so much. It made us a different nationality. It really did, and because we're actually mixed with the people who, enslaved us, and most of us don't even want to discuss that part of it, but it's the truth, and most of us are mixed, and it wasn't done under good circumstances. Most of them were not love stories. This was rape, for the most. So it's a
recording in progress.
Okay. Somebody's got to definitely got to.
That's
Please
Betty,
mute.
I think.
Please mute as you come on. Please mute. I don't know. That's Miss Beck. I'm sorry. I got knocked out. Okay.
I got
So,
knocked out.
so you revealing this so honestly, so courageously. I felt like I was watching my favorite show is Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates. And he's always like, turn the page, and he has if you don't watch it, you should watch it. It's very exciting to me. I love it because it does tell, like, people came from all over the world. And when they got here, the white people, we didn't hide who we were. They were hiding who they were because most of them were running. And a lot of them started off as indentured servants. And they changed their last names because they didn't want people to know their identities and what their real culture was. So that's why some of them, they come on there and they don't even, and I was like, how come nobody knows who they are? What the heck? How come everybody's going on this show, and it's uncanny when you find out who's related to whom. And that's just, I think, I love it. I think it's an incredible story. I think your story is incredible, all, period. For you to be related to Mark Twain, and then of course they don't want y'all to talk about that. They do not want that history out. Johnny Cash's wife was Black. And at first she didn't know. I think her grandma. So she was, you could tell because when you looked at her that she was darker, and people shunned him and her because of it, And he was the great Johnny Cash, So we're more alike than we're not. We're more alike than we're not. They need to stop the nonsense. I love your story because that's what it reveals. Okay, so but the only other thing I want to know more about is the procedure itself for people who don't know, who haven't done it. Like what you had to go through. Did you have to send, like you said, saliva? Like what was that like? Like what did you do and what did you send? How long did it take? That kind of stuff. Like really tell us like what you were going through, like you were anticipating it and you were there for a minute. And then you started talking about, the different people you were discovering. So I'd like a little more about your, how you felt and what you had to do. Okay. I'm complete. How do you feel about your feedback?
Can you all, let me see if you can see this picture. Oh my God. It's my grandfather. I'm trying to.
What? Hold on. I'm gonna make you a let me see.
Okay, yeah.
I'll make you a co-host so you can show it. So just okay.
Okay.
So click share and hold it up. You might have to change your background. You might have to undo your back. Oh yeah, hold it up a little higher. We can't see it. Like hold it. Yeah, you got.
Well, what is it? My background, or
you got to get rid of your background. So
Move it to you.
Just take it off for a second, then we'll be able to.
Okay, let me take off my background.
Lift it up.
And lift it up. Yeah.
Lift it up some.
If she lifts it in front of her face, we can see it better because the background isn't
You
really.
see it?
Yeah.
Is the background messing it up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold it forward. I see it somewhat, but
Yeah.
hold it forward.
Oh my goodness. That's my grandfather, Nicholas Ferguson. You can see he has on a suit.
Yep. Put the top up, like push the top forward so we can see. Yeah, not the bottom, but the top, so we can display it flatter.
Okay. Oh Lord, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's incredible that you have that. How old is that
Wow.
picture?
Oh, this okay, this is about the best I can do. He has on a suit. My grandfather, Nicholas Ferguson. I never got to meet him. But what I just got the idea from what Kathy was saying, how to end my story is that I'll just tell a little bit of his story after he left, after he ran away, because he did become very well off, starting his own farm and meeting my grandmother. I think that need to be told. And they had 11 children. And my dad was somewhere in the middle of that. But yeah, that was
Okay.
my grandfather. And you could see he was mulatto, you know, the black, more fair skin.
Mulatto.
I think that might have helped him, you know, as far as his business and being able to start his own family and have their own home. And the photographs that I look at, they're all very well dressed in the photograph.
Yeah.
So yes, you know, I'm proud of that. I'm complete. Thank you all for your feedback.
Thank you for sharing. All right, great. All righty. Sounds good. Everything sounded so great. Thank you all. Who's up next? We got after Vanetta, Janine had come on, but she's not reading. Huda, you just listening, you said, or have you been
Yes.
inspired?
I'm not reading either, Kathy. I said I'm not reading either. I'm just listening.
Okay, if you're not reading, I'm asking you to do some writing.
Yeah, I'm doing some writing right now.
Okay. Okay, all right. So how about you, Caroline? Who else was ready to read? Diane, you said you're just listening.
No, I did not say
Oh, you
that.
didn't? Oh, okay, yay. Come on. So bless us with some beautiful words. Thank you, dear.
I don't have anything on Sankofa. I don't have anything.
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
But I had to start writing my whole thing over. So what I could do is give you what I started my story back.
Oh, great.
Because
Okay.
I can't, I can't use the name I wanted to use. So I came up with something different in the introduction to that. So, okay, in the beginning of the introduction, and let's turn the shit around, the molestation thing.
Yeah.
It says, "My name is Diane." No, yeah, my name is my name is Diane. My dear friend name is Tasha. Tasha and I want to share a secret she held inside for 47 years. She was abused growing up, sexually, emotionally, and physically as a child. Once by a stranger in the spring of 1977, then continuously by her mother's living boyfriend, Phil. From the summer of 1977, Phil started playing stepfather to Tasha and her brother, Junior. Wow, what a mistake. Tasha and Junior are like twins, growing up and being born 9 months apart. When they saw, when you saw Tasha, you saw Junior. They did everything together, played, ate, and got in a lot of trouble together as well. Their childhood was great until Phil came into their lives. Their dad left home when Tasha was 6 and Junior was 5. Their father could not keep a job or take care of them. So their mom told them that he had to get a job or leave. So he chose to leave to look for work, but never returned home with a job. For the end of summer 1977, the the monster slash creep Phil crept into their lives. It was the winter of 1976. One night, Phil walked their mom to the building after they came home from a card game. It was snowing, and she guessed, and they guessed that. Wait, how did I do that? and she guessed he did not want their mom to fall on the way to the building, so he helped her to the door. They heard him say he would call her when he got home. Tasha and Junior was up watching TV when their mom came home. Their aunt and cousins was asleep on the couch in the living room. They fell asleep watching TV, Tasha and Junior. Their mom was a member of a card circle, people who met and played cards every weekend at a different member's house. The next year, all of a sudden, in the spring of 1977, Phil started spending the nights at their house. Tasha and Junior used to play with toys in their living room or watch TV. But now that Phil slowly moved in, both they both started playing in their room, his or her room. Wait a minute. Oh, his or her room with the door closed. And this summer, Junior turned 5 and Tasha just turned 6, 2777. 3 months earlier, that morning, their morning routine was getting up early, running down the hall to see who would be the first to the bathroom so they could wash up and get ready to eat breakfast. Oh, I'm sorry. So they can get ready to eat breakfast together and get ready for school. But this was the weekend. They were ready to go outside to play. Their mother used to go out with them, but now that Phil moved in, she then started watching them from the 11th floor apartment window as she cooked lunch or dinner for her and as she cooked lunch for Junior. Wow, how things have sure changed since Phil moved in. Anytime Phil wanted their mother, for any reason, he would scream her name so loud from the back of the house where their bedroom was. Junior and Tasha would jump up and cover their ears on the first call and then would run all the way in the back of the house so fast to their room to see what he wanted before he got the second syllable of her name out of his mouth. Their mother was so in love with this monster, they would that she would do anything he asked. He was paying all the bills. So whatever Phil wanted,
Mm.
he got. Anything he asked for, done. No questions asked. Don't get me wrong, their mother worked, but I guess that when someone is paying your bills, you can keep your extra money to buy what you want for you and your children. Mom made sure he was taken care of. And right away, no questions asked. Tasha's secret was held in for so long that it made her so bitter in life as she aged. But now finding herself in a better place, now that she got that shit out of her system, knowing that it was not her fault and she did nothing wrong. She oh, wait a minute. Now that she got the shit out of her system, knowing that it was not her fault and she did nothing wrong. He was a monster, and her mom just picked the wrong man to replace Junior and her dad. And oh boy, do I mean the wrong man. Spring 77. Oh, wait, no, no, no. I got something all the way down. Wait. Oh, this is horrible. I gotta fix the. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, so you want us to respond to what we heard so far?
Okay, you can
That's
do
fine.
that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
do that.
All right, Diane, because this is a whole new approach to the story. So good. Let's see what people think about it. They'll give us some feedback, especially if you know the story from before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard the story before.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's doing well with what she's doing. She's got a little touching up, I think, little gaps in between. But
Mm-hmm.
I think she's doing a good job. When she go over it again, and then it'll all come back to her, you know. So I think you're doing fine, Diane. I'm
Thank you, Miss
complete.
Betty.
Thank you. I'm complete.
Diane, I didn't hear the story from before, but you said that she's bitter in life. I was wondering, did she ever like tell her mom?
I'll answer that when we're done. I'll answer it when we're done.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm complete.
Diane, I think I don't remember all of the story from before, but I like what you're doing, and
Mhm.
it's very interesting. I like the way you're writing it. I like the story, and I see a lot of changes and
Mm,
improvements. I'm complete.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Um, I like how I see the change that you have. You're the narrator. You're the one telling the story. Before it was from your niece.
Mhm.
And I thank you for willing to continue the story because it needs to be told. Because
Mhm.
this happens in more families than we think.
mm,
You know, because you got the uncle, that's the mother's friend, that's your uncle, and then, it's like it's just a lot of confusion and a lot of issues, and it's always that one person that your mom clings to, and you just don't trust. I don't
mm.
know why it is, but there's been a few people, because I personally know a few people that went through it as well. But I really commend you that you really decide to follow through with this because
Yes.
it does need to be told. Because
Thank
the things in families, they always told what stays in the family, what happens in the family stays in the family, and that was the worst advice that anybody could give
Mm.
because there was a lot of things done that should have been revealed, and so people would have some type of healing. But thank you, I love it. Keep up the good work. I'm complete.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Interested story and looking forward for the complete book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm complete.
I really like the story. It reminds me somewhat of the antagonist in The Color Purple, Phil, his character. Um, Also, I'm very curious to know more about how Tasha was able to now stop blaming herself, but now empower herself and then to say, no, this is not about me, this is this other person. So I think that's a powerful journey, but I'm just wondering how she was able to navigate that to come to that realization, because from a mental health perspective, from my practice, I observed that some of my clients are able to become self-actualized, where they feel like, okay, now it's not me, it's this other person, after a lot of work, whether it's family, not being in denial anymore, or something I've done, it's my fault, but now they empower themselves. I'm just curious about how Tasha went to that journey herself, whether it's um dad or a supportive family system, because usually, sadly to say, some parents uh in denial, or single mothers, some are in denial, where it's like, no, not my husband, that it's about you, it's not my husband, never done. They are in denial about what's happening to their own child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Anybody else? Okay, so it's on me, Diane. I love the new approach. I really do. And like Nisi said, I'm so proud of you for continuing to tell the story. I love that you're now in the story. Okay, so if you've taken the narrators, a present narrator as a witness persona. That's the perspective you're writing from. So I like that. So the only thing is that now you're going to have to develop. We need to know more about her. So you're kind of fictionalizing it, which is fine, because you still, the bottom line is that you still get to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
You can change the name, but you can still get to tell the story, and Now you could add other stuff to it if you want, because it's not so directly, it's not anyone's memoir or true story, so so you've kind of opened it up too. You freed yourself up some. So that's great. So I Phil is the monster, and I like I want you to describe them, and still do
Oh,
a lot of the same things you did before, but now you're just changing,
mm-hmm.
the description, but you still haven't, going to describe like you did before.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you didn't toss stuff out,
No, it's
Yeah.
all there.
Okay. All right. So just like you did before, then you'll add like stuff about the environment, so all of that, because you did a lot of work,
Yeah,
around
that's
so keep that, so and specific things about like they're watching TV, like was it Saturday morning cartoons, Bugs,
mm,
but like so that people can relate to it and it could be authentic, so just keep, but that'll come, that'll come afterwards. You could make it more specific. And then when you started talking about the present, I was like, you're talking about her as an adult. I think you should wait, because otherwise you'll be going back and forth and back and forth.
mm-hmm.
So just tell the past and then move up to the present. I think it's easier, unless you're doing it in flashbacks, because then that's going to be a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Issue, so I love what you're doing, and let your creativity flow. Okay, because
Yeah.
yeah, let your creativity flow, and it is a tribute to Sankofa in a sense, because you're going back and
Mm-hmm.
looking at what happened in the past, and you have a message for the future, which is don't leave your kids with whomever, and be more specific about who you leave, whose care you leave them in, and
True.
yeah, and I think yeah, that's as important now than it was then, So thank you. I'm complete. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Feedback.
That's the reason I want to get it out, because it was her and she's still in my mind,
Of course.
and her story has to be told. Maybe someone else may not know, but I would know. And the reason is to get it out because it was such, it's like a hush hush era. The parents we had, that everything got to be secret. No, it don't have to be secret, because if it is secret, then nobody would know what to do or to be watching their kids.
Right.
It's very important that you leaving your kids with an uncle, a aunt, a father, a boyfriend, and it really kills me when I see things that, oh, this father did this to the child, and it has happened to people I know, and everybody don't want to say anything, you know. But that's the reason why I want to write it, is to get the information out.
Mm-hmm.
And she also said, how does she help herself? Well, first of all, she did pass away, and I feel she's free now. I know at one time she did tell me, when she was telling me everything, I said, well, did your mother apologize? She said, yeah, she apologized, but it's still that every time they have an argument, it's still back and forth with, oh, he did this to me, you didn't protect me. Every time they have an argument, it's the same thing. And she would say, well, you probably liked it. Going
Oh God.
back and forth. Yeah, the back and forth and whatnot. So I think I feel at peace just getting it out there. I know what happened, and people need to read to know how, what's going on. How does she feel? How her mother felt? And I just think people need to know so it could stop the cycle of this stuff. It's just horrible. You can't have people staying at your house, especially if you don't know them that well.
That's right.
But people do this. They put these people in their kids' life. They're thinking about themselves, what they want, how they feel about the person, not
Mm-hmm.
even thinking about, well, how my kids gonna feel about this,
Right.
because the kids, they were not happy. And as I said, they call them monster. And I think that was how she thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but blaming herself, she did, and there's a lot of stuff that'll show how. So I'm complete.
Okay. Now, because and I want to take advantage of the opportunity to really break it down. It's just like Janine was saying, when you think about what they have gone through psychologically and stuff, maybe now you can talk about that aspect, because she was still, when somebody's traumatized that early in life and they get kind of stuck there,
Yeah.
so so even her responses to how to deal with it, of course they were not of a mature person, because she never got a chance to mature. He stole her.
Right. You're right.
So,
It,
so yeah, yeah. So
and
this,
it's funny, how you say that, and that you said that, because Yolanda and her, talked about this stuff, and I found out something else too. But as you said, they talk in the past, they don't talk about future. They're stuck at that age that things happen in that year in there. So I'm like, wow. And she was like, yeah, Mom, she don't talk about anything, like now. She talking about what happened back then, because that's all in her mind.
yeah, yeah,
Can't
yeah,
come out of that. And
yeah.
it's kind of crazy, but I've seen too many things happen. I see the things happen with the family. Even the funeral and stuff just got me crazy. But I'll talk about that. I'll
Oh,
talk about that, how it felt.
yeah, yeah, because that's what, and even get clinical, from you could research it, what the doctors say, like what happens physically, because you could talk about what you observed it, you
Mm,
witnessed,
mm-hmm,
and then when you look it up and you find out, yeah, exactly what happens to somebody's mind when they get stuck like that. And
mm-hmm.
and she had to be suffering from depression, of course, and so many other things that latch on to that, so it was, that was really difficult, for her. So, and
Yes.
so many people walking around with like 2 tons of pain hanging over their shoulders, man,
Yeah.
and you don't know, most of us don't have a clue, but people walk around hurt, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be careful with how you deal with people. You don't know what they're going through.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Thank
Okay.
you so
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, beautiful. All right, let's keep going. How about you, Caroline? You got something to share? To unmute.
I'll share something I wrote. I hope it fits the topic, Sankofa.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me see. I'm reading from my phone. Okay. Profound strength you portrayed from sunrise to sundown. You weren't intimidated as darkness tumbled into sun and nature manufactured dim sunlight into bright sunrising lights. You were waiting for the light of the morning to do your normal activities, which appears to some as abnormal. This is your unwavering strength, human spiritual strength, to light the path of your daily maternal life, guiding your children. A mother's strength is as engaging as the bear and its cubs, the cow and its calf, and the chicken and its chicks. Strength to protect, provide, care without fear for your family. And while climbing the mountain of life, grace inspired you more and more to stand still in your strength, forever task and handle it with mastery. From the smallest to the greatest, looking like a test, but your strength gave it the best and laid each task down to the ground. Your strength is the best, the winning best because you carry grace, strength. This strengthened you to do the do. I'm complete.
All right now.
Mm.
Okay. Let's give us some feedback. Thank you, Caroline.
Yes.
Do the do. You can
I love
unmute.
how Carol work together and the flow of the language, the way she speak. It just
Mhm.
falls right in place with what she's expressing herself with, and I think she did a fine job.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm
That was
complete.
deep. That was deep, Caroline. That was like poetry in motion. That was beautiful. And I like the way you use the metaphors and the comparing about a mother starting her day and taking care of her children. And then just like you said, the little chickens and the chicks and something else you said. But anyway, it was just beautiful. And it was short and sweet,
Thank
but
you.
I think it was beautiful. I'm complete.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tanetta. It was flowing, short and sweet, but it pointed it just the showing the caring and the nurturing of childlike. I think you said bear, like a bear or something.
Yeah, a bear.
Yeah, and,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
as we do as parents, the animals do the same thing. But
Mhm.
I like that nurturing part. You know, I'm complete. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. I'm complete.
Thank you, darling.
Caroline, this is Kwame. I thought it was beautiful. I think all your writing is very beautiful. I like the way you included the animals, the metaphors, and it was very powerful. I'm complete.
Yeah, very powerful. I love the comparison, the chicken and the chicks, the metaphor, climbing the mountain of life. That's so powerful. That's such a motivation in some ways. Despite life's struggle, you still have to climb up. You still have to do what you got to do every day. It's very nurturing, like almost like a mother and child's relationship.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing.
Anybody else? I loved it, Caroline. It was very consistent. I love the rhythm, the of the rhyming and the meter. Your cadence was good. You were like on top of it. This was one of those that just I want to know how the process was. Was this one of the ones that just flowed out because it sounds like it? You know, it sounds like it just flowed on out, and it reminds me of it's so positive, and it's so us in spite of everything, what we do in spite of everything. It reminds me of one of Abiodun's poems called "Another Mountain." You know, and he talks about the climate, the mountain of life, and all that comes at you is still making it. And when you get to the top, you just find out you have another mountain to climb. You know, and that's life. You know, there's always going to be another mountain. So, but and caring and staying strong and just and taking care. You know, that was beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very, very well written. Very well done.
Thank
How you,
you.
how you feel about your feedback?
Thank you. This was something that just came because after
Knew it.
I communicated with Betty this morning and I said, okay, let me write something. And I wrote it on my phone, so it just came. It literally like no stumbling block because
Can tell.
I was thinking about my grandmother,
Mm.
my grandmother, my mom, the woman in my family. My grandmother, my grandfather died at a young age, in his 50s. So she had 14 kids,
Mm.
plus she adopted
Oh,
one, 15. So she had to raise these kids all on her own. And grow even when the my aunts and uncles were older, she still held it together.
wow.
It's not like today where the kids would misbehave. They had respect for her no matter what. So I'm thinking about her strength and how she cared, and just
Mm.
my mom and even my aunt, and just being strong. They have to every mountain, like you see what the animals do with the children, with their offspring, and all of that. So this was something that literally just came.
Wow. I
So
could
yeah.
tell. I could tell. I knew it. Beautiful.
And you can tell when I write something and it just Kathy's always like, this is one that flow. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Who else is sharing? Anybody? You still did you write anything, Huda, Kwamina?
I'm working on something. I'm always listening and doing whatever.
Okay, okay. All right, so I'm gonna read a little something from chapter 2 because I'm tightening up Miracle, and she's gonna be birthed this year. She's coming. Okay, so I don't know if I know I read part of this to you all. I don't remember if I did, but I do think it fits in with Sankofa because we are looking back. Dead bodies everywhere. February 28th, 2020, one day after Mecca Divine's funeral and 2 days before the pandemic is declared. We need more ventilators down here, Dr. Freeman yelled in the phone. I have 52 asthmatic and cardio patients with chronic respiratory distress and 10 coming in. He pulled off his mask and scanned the emergency room in disbelief. Oxygen tanks and masks were being passed around and shared. This is some kind of epidemic. The numbers have been increasing since last night. We're going to run out of beds soon. Nurse Williams, start directing the ambulances to Kings County. We don't have enough staff to handle this. As the doors to the ER slid open, Dr. Freeman noticed a walk-in patient enter and approach the nurse's station. She was so nervous she shook violently. Her long locks and humble demeanor reminded him of his niece, Miracle. Then he noticed the 20-something-year-old was holding her wheelchair-bound grandmother's hand. Can you help my granny? I don't want her to die. She's breathing funny, she sobbed. Don't worry, miss. We will help her. Have a seat. The nurse pointed to the empty seat at the side of her desk, handed them both masks, and took the elder's vitals. Then she directed them to the last bed in the ER. Miracle's face began to flash before him. Then it morphed, and he saw Mecca, his recently deceased sister. The face frowned with worry. Dr. Freeman ran to his locker, grabbed his coat, his cell phone, and dashed out the ER's side door. Truth, how's Miracle? Dr. Freeman's voice was stoic as he attempted to hide his concern. He yelled over the sirens of incessant incoming ambulances and police cars before he thought of a quiet nook past the emergency room entrance on Linden Boulevard. He ducked behind the Brownsville General Hospital's neon sign so Brother Truth could hear him better. Truth sucked in his gut, and he straightened his back as if Miracle's uncle could see him through his cell phone. Although Dr. Justice Freeman III, aka Uncle Doc, could not see him through a telephone, Truth always tried his best to impress the well-respected doctor and his new patriarch of Miracle's, and the new patriarch of Miracle's family. Hello, Uncle Doc? Truth yelled over the busy scene. I'm concerned about her state of mind, Brother Truth. He panted between his words as worry and emergency patient diagnoses flooded his thoughts. She's especially vulnerable right now. You know she's real sensitive like her mom was. We've got to keep an eye on her. Sensitive? Miracle is falling apart, Uncle Doc. I don't know how to console her anymore. She's hallucinating now. I'm talking about waking up in the middle of the night, pointing at nothing and saying her mom is here. And that's when she's not holding on to Pop for dear life or crying for hours. Yesterday, I saw him patting her back to make her feel better. He's only 2. What can I do to lift up her spirits when her mother just died? His head dropped as he confessed. I can't fix it. Thank God for family and members of the community who come over to check on her. I don't know what I'd do without them. Hold it together, Brother Truth. Trust me, you can do this. You'll find a way. Just hold her close and love on her. We have serious problems on hand, and that's just one. You're also going to have to safeguard this family, son, the whole family. I volunteered to be transferred to Brownsville General Hospital so I could check out Mecca's death on the low. I don't believe she just had a heart attack out of nowhere. My sister was a healthy woman. I think this new virus they've been talking about, Corona from China, has something to do with it. People are dying twice as fast as usual here in Brownsville, more than anywhere in this country. That's alarming, even for Brownsville. Do you know these doctors are attributing every severe illness to this virus as if it triggers every other disease? Do you know the ramifications of that? Numbers are rising throughout the day. and they're not drug or gang related. This is a virus going rampant in our community, and these doctors don't have a cure or a clue. He whispered in the next part, there are dead bodies everywhere, inside and outside the morgue, on every floor. Dead bodies everywhere. What? What are you telling me? Truth, Dr. Freeman's tone deepened. We're all in danger. That's what I'm telling you. This virus will affect the entire world, and JD just confirmed it. You know, for my nephew, Justice Divine, not to show up for his mother's funeral, it had to be a life or death situation. Last night he called and he told me the White House wouldn't let him or any of the other interns go home this whole week. He had to sneak into a courtyard and hide to reach out to me. He'll lose his internship if they find out. Word is they're discussing a lockdown because we are already in a pandemic. And you know, unless the battle is here in this underserved community called Brownsville, we are always the last to be notified. I already see it, Truth. So we need to be the ones to tell it. Oh my God. My head is spinning, Uncle Doc. What exactly are you asking me to do? And what should I do first? Well, look, get the mourners out of your house and get Miracle and Pop over to Jersey. Y'all can stay at my house. I practically live at the hospital anyway. I want my family out of Brownsville. Well, what if she doesn't want to leave? And what about the brothers? You're her fiance and her baby's dad. So as far as I'm concerned, you're her husband and the head of this clan while I'm away. She'll do whatever you say if she trusts you. Make her trust you. You need to save them, and Mama Amani too. You can't fix Mecca's death, but you can save Miracle. Leave right now. Go to my space in Hoboken. Miracle has the spare keys. Before you do that, go to the Dewdrop Inn and gather the men. Tell them I'll be there at 8 tonight, and I'll see you then. Anything else? Yeah, young blood. Before you bring your family into my house, make sure my gun is secured. I may have left it in the living room under the end table the other night. I don't want anyone getting hurt. We have had enough tragedy taking. We have enough tragedy taking place. You packing, Uncle Doc? It's like that. Listen, with this pandemic news, we don't know what will happen next. I live near some of those tiki torch carrying maggots. I'm a peaceful man, a spiritual man, but I believe in being armed in times like these. I purchased a special case for it today, but for now, just place it in the lockbox on the shelf in the back of my bedroom closet. I'll secure it when I get home. Got it. Truth replied, repeated then his mind so he wouldn't forget anything. Check in with the brothers, secure the peace, get Miracle and Pac out of Dodge. Okay, Uncle Doc, you can count on me. Truth tried to sound serious and stoic too, but he was petrified. Nothing in my life has prepared me for this, he thought. Truth was actually uptown at Teachers College working on his thesis when he had received the call from Uncle Doc. And now he couldn't stop thinking about Miracle or the impending doom. His fellowship to Columbia required the completion of his book by the end of 2020 spring semester. So he ran back to the second floor research lab, his favorite spot in the library, hoping to flush the madness out of his mind and write at least a few hundred words before going back to Brooklyn. But he still could not concentrate. Uncle Doc's words, dead bodies everywhere, repeated in his head. This had been the third morning Miracle insisted Mecca was in the bedroom. Could she have been right? Was Mama Mecca's spirit really visiting them as they slept? He never wanted to believe in such things. Spiritual stuff kind of freaked him out. When Miracle talked about the altar and her mom's special gifts, he usually brushed it off as just a sixth sense thing. Truth loved Mama Mecca from the first day they met, and he couldn't deny that she did seem to always know what he was thinking. He looked forward to being her son-in-law since his own mom had died when he was a little boy. No visions of his mom had ever appeared to him, nor could he imagine one. From time to time, he thought he heard her voice, but he dismissed it as a memory. I'm going to stop there. That's just a part of the second chapter. Please, give me some honest feedback.
Well, first, Kathy, I want to start with the names. I love the names you have. Truth, Miracle, Uncle Doc Freeman, Justice Divine. I was like, oh, I just love the names, but you have so much in here that I wanted to talk about. First, about Truth. He's Miracle's fiance, right?
Yes.
And for me, um, it's hard when, because I can relate to him about the spiritual journey. Until you learn about it, you question and you doubt it. But you always, like he said, Mecca, something about Mecca always, she always knew what he was thinking, but still he was fighting the desire to realize that, things like this happen.
Mhm.
But the fact that with this pandemic, because that's exactly what it was, that's killing everybody. Um, it like they started questioning Mecca's death, wanting to know, because I don't know what they told them, because again the doctors don't have a clue. They'll have you, give you run around, you'll ask questions, they still don't know what's going on. And that kind of rang true for me as well, because I've been in that situation with doctors not knowing what's going on. But Uncle Doc knew what was going on, and he wanted his family out of Brownsville, because he knew that those doctors weren't going to take care of those people out there. So he said he's going to take care of his own family if he has to, and
Mhm.
try to help Brownsville in the process. But but that holds so true, because that's exactly what happened during COVID.
Yep.
And it's sad though.
Yeah.
And the fact that JD couldn't even leave school, leave the White House to go to his mother's funeral, that happened a lot too. A lot of people couldn't mourn their family. A lot of family members couldn't come. They couldn't be at the hospital when their loved ones died. This brought back so much memories of COVID for me, and it was well written. And it was like, I just like also how the instructions that Uncle Doc gave Proof to do is like, first go to the do drop in, and let the guys know what's going on, and secure the peace, get Mecca and the family over there, and Mama Amani, get them all back over into Jersey. I thought that was it was together. I'm not gonna say it anymore because I could go on and on, but I love it, Kathy, and I'm so glad to hear you reading it again. I'm complete.
Thank you, Nisi.
Kathy, oh my God, I just see it, the movie screen. I just see it as a movie, and it's so exciting. It's the type that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat, and then being a black movie. I hope this does come into a movie. You
Yes.
got to finish this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is something great. You don't
Thank
see
you.
people writing about COVID now.
They they
You
they
really
don't
don't.
want.
Everybody's so hush hush about it. Nobody wants to hear about it. But oh my God. And you have some strong characters. That's what I like. And I am so glad that the doctor is a doctor. He knows what's going on. And everybody's just a strong character and a strong family unit. And I think that's, very positive and something that's going to be seen, when you do the movie.
Right.
I'm complete.
Yes, Miss Kathy, I agree with Nisi and Vanessa. It is oh God, it just brings back memories because I had family members I lost too, and I couldn't go to their funeral. But I'm waiting to see the movie too. I hope I could be one of the characters in it. But I think you did a very good job. You explained everything well, and it just took me back to seeing those days when all the people was dying like that from the COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just good that they had someone that would follow the instruction that he gave to them to get the families together. And I can't wait to hear the rest of it.
Yeah. Very catchy title, Them Bodies Everywhere. I think the title was very catchy. I'm also curious, maybe you already read it in the past, curious about the connections of the different communities. So when you're comparing Brownsville with social demographically, economically with Hoboken. So I will need to know more about the characters. So how did they get where they are? The connections. Like I want to know more. And then when you hear about schools like Columbia, so I want to know more about the characters individualistically so I can make more of connections on that. But I really love the title.
Thank you.
Kathy, that was very exciting, and talking about truth and how he had to make sure that the family was safe before they do anything. That is so important with family. When it comes to family, you got to take care of that. That's number one. And to, some people may not, everybody may not know exactly what happened to that in COVID times. The information is out there for them to know it now and how to, handle it in case anything happened again. Family first. And
Mhm.
talk bodies all over everywhere. Wow, that just brought a thought. I'm like, oh my God. But it's good to know than not know. That way you can better plan whatever you got to plan and probably be ready for it. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
we know that's what they was trying to do is just control the population
Yeah.
and who to get rid of first. Okay, so I like that, and I hope everybody see. And as you said, we will see it in the movie.
Mhm.
Beautiful, well written, and I agree with Nisi. I like the characters' names, and it it's about COVID, and it just is literally because I live not too far from Brookdale, so it brought back the memories of hearing the sirens and all of that, and just people are just dying. And maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason why they don't really want to hear
Mhm.
about COVID, because the stench of death was so strong, and especially in
Yeah.
what you would call depressed community, low income communities.
Underserved. Yeah.
We were under, yeah, served communities. We were more, at a disadvantage,
Yeah.
and but your story is your writing, is bringing out, you're showing the other side, the reality that, like, what people, like, maybe what I'm thinking somebody else was thinking in our heads. So you're bringing that from our community out there,
Right.
so others can see what really was happening in our community. Because
Yes.
I know other people in different socioeconomical background, they weren't having a lot of difficulties that we were encountering.
That's right.
So it was just a tough task, for
Mhm.
everyone to deal with.
Yeah.
So your book will enlighten people to see our perspective
Mhm.
on, how we dealt with the with COVID.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
complete.
you. Yeah.
Kathy, it's Carmina.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. I'm sorry. I enjoyed it. It was a flashback of what we went through during the pandemic and the reality of how it affected everyone, how it affected everyone, especially with the Brownsville community and how you said how so many people was dying. It wasn't like related to drugs or shooting or anything like that. And I'm complete.
Yeah, Kathy, I was going to say it was definitely a reflection, and it's almost to the point where I would say, hurry up and finish it, because it's the preparation that you were saying and preparing people for. Not to be negative, but you know what? They need to get ready again. And they need
Mhm.
to know what to prepare this, how to prepare themselves.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's not only what we went through, but it's what's
About to go
what we're
through
going to go through. I
independent.
hate you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it's
absolutely.
because what you were saying in that book was so, I mean, it's true. A lot of people don't know what to do to be ready.
Right.
So, I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
I'm complete. I'm complete.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you for saying that, Huda. I really appreciate that. And I do go like at the end. So even though we begin here and we go to the past,
Hmm.
that Miracle goes to the past, and she literally goes all the way back to the 1700s when there was the yellow fever pandemic. So we
Mm.
get to see how they survived that. she brings her information back here too. And then by the time that the last chapter is the epilogue, and you see what's going to happen in the future. So that's what's taking so long. I'm working on the future part right now, and I'm separated from my computer for 4 months. But yeah, I wanted to. If there's anything else you heard, if you hear any inconsistencies, please let me know. But I added more to this. This has been revised a few times. So if it sounds consistent, I'm happy. You know. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. It really helps. You know, I'm doing this for us, all of us. I want everybody to have the same experience. It's all to hear yourself reading, because then you can hear mistakes that you don't see when you're writing. When you read it, you hear it too, you know, so, or anything else you might like to add. So I heard a couple little things that I want to fix, but that's it. But thank you. Thank you. All right. I see that Selena is on. Hey, Selena, what's going on?
Oh. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so sorry I'm late. I had a very confusing morning. We actually just came from the library.
Oh, no.
It is all right.
Oh, okay.
I'm jet lagged as well. So I probably missed the memo, but I'm happy to be home with y'all.
Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Spoiled by the California sun, but now I'm back.
That's so funny. See, you came out here. You should have told me.
Yeah, I was in LA for a couple of days for the New Year.
Okay, nice, yeah. Nice. Okay, you have anything to share? Because we're up to unless Kwamina is ready with something, or could anybody else have something they want to share before we move on?
No, I don't have anything.
I had shared something with Kwamina. I'm sorry, Kwamina. I was writing a text just letting everybody know that I'm getting ready to get off. I have to leave. And I just wanted to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good to see you, Huda.
You're welcome. Good seeing everybody.
Okay.
Give Zainab our love too. Tell her we love
her. I will. Keep her in your prayers. She's having surgery on Monday.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
I'll
talk to you this weekend, Huda.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely pray for her.
All right. Thank you.
We do anyway. You know that.
Yes, I know. Take care, everyone.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you, Huda.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, unless somebody else wants to share, we could finish up at 1 today instead of 2. But yeah, did you say you had something, Selena, or you just in the car?
So I thought I did, and I got to the car and realized that my notebook was upstairs. Like I said, I'm completely unprepared this morning, so I'm just here to listen and support. Listen and support today.
It's okay. So, and we'll do another round. If anybody has something else they want to share and you already went, you can go again.
The new lady's not reading.
Rosemary, who you said?
No, that was me. I was saying the new lady that's on, she's not reading anything?
No, she said since it's her first one, she's just here to observe. She'll read something next time. So maybe you can tell us how you feel about what you heard so far, Janine.
She on me.
Yeah, y'all.
I really enjoyed it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Miss Smith invited me today, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing. She did it for me. Janine, you will like it because this is your thing. Like, I'm like, wow, I really like, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being authentic as well. I see myself signing it again next week, Saturday. That's what I'm sharing until I publish something.
Okay, beautiful. Oh, I'm glad.
Yes,
welcome.
Mom, I lied.
Yeah, Ladita didn't make it because she had an appointment this morning. I just let her know. So your guest is here and you're not.
Oh, thank you. I'll text her as well later.
Yeah. But she had a long morning. And I know, after the holidays, I didn't think everybody, but usually we have a lot more people too. So sometimes we have 14, 15, 16, 20 people. But when they have days like this, people get a little more time. So I want you, since we have a little more time, if you want to take a little more time, write a little more, or ask some questions, This is a great time to do so. We're working on a lot of things. We have a podcast.
Oh, wow.
We're about to share a new episode. We did a couple of episodes when I was in New York in October. So those haven't come out yet. Shantae's working on them. We also have stuff coming up. We will be doing every June we have a showcase. So all the poems, like we have a theme in Sankofa. So all the Sankofa poems and excerpts from whatever you want to write, go into whatever you're working on, they will go into the anthology. So everybody could just add a chapter and a poem to the anthology this year, and the title is Sankofa. And everybody gets a copy of the anthology. You know, we're trying to make sure people sell it. This year, I really want us to do it digitally so we could actually do a podcast around the showcase, you know, and have the showcase live, you know, on the podcast. And this way, that I hope people buy some books. You know, we make it an audio book, but we use that to raise money, you know. And then in the fall we have a gala to also as a fundraiser, and we're always, you know, searching. But we are a nonprofit, and we everybody does something in one type of committee or another to keep us moving forward, and we have plans to expand. So
Nice.
yeah, so welcome. Yeah, and I pray that this is going to trickle down into the school. However, you know, you could do anything we do here. The prompts I use, writing prompts, you can use those. You know, that's not a problem.
Thank you.
But we keep all of the stories until they become public. We keep them private. Okay. So please don't disclose anything you hear until the books are available. but promote the workshop by all means.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Alrighty, anything else? What we have coming up February, we got to talk about. We want to do something for February. Do an open mic, Valentine's Day, Black History Month, whatever we were celebrating. We're gonna do something for Dr. King's birthday. So that'll be coming up soon. So let's just keep talking and keep on writing. Please don't stop writing. Okay, please.
Mama Cat, it's okay if I just interrupt for a second?
Sure.
I realized that even though I don't have my notebook with me, I had something I had posted already on my Substack that I'm trying to challenge myself to also share my work publicly. So always challenge me to share something. But I did find something I could share. And then I had a couple of questions about the book. But anyway, let me just share first. That's okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. This piece is it's called Say God, and it was inspired by I woke up one morning, it was another morning of is Israel bombing a camp in Palestine. So this came to mind. Say God with a question mark. You painted the river red like wine, for they had sinned. They paint the Holy Land blue in false reference of you, pale blue. Pale blue fragments of cold corpses with dried up bitter wine drippings from their bitter, brittle lips. Drip. No, drop. Bomb after bomb after bomb, they drop. And blood, it drips, and blood from their lips go drip. Say God, for they have sinned. Don't you have time? Don't you think it's time for you to turn their water red into wine again? I'm complete.
Good.
Give us some feedback, please.
Wow. It was short, to the point, and I like the way she used her words in there, like blood from their lips go drips, something like that. It rhymed. Yeah, I thought it was very nice. I enjoyed it. I'm complete.
As Miss Betty said, short, sweet, but to the point. I agree. I want to hear more though.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, that was powerful. I'm sorry. It was powerful, short and sweet. But one thing I want to say is that we We forget, we're celebrating the holiday. We forget the war is still going on.
That's right.
People are still dying. And that's why I always praying for peace. Peace. I'm always praying for peace. I'm always promoting peace on earth because people seem to, it's so easy to forget because you're not experiencing it.
Right.
But look at all the innocent lives lost. Not just with
Louisiana.
the current situation, but
Uh,
also even in with Russia and oh, I can't think of the name. My mind going blank, but you know what? That's another war.
Yeah.
All this war going on, and
The
people just
Ukraine.
don't
Yeah.
understand, or they just don't want to think about it. They don't care. So, like, while we're waking up in the morning talking about opening presents,
Right.
then you watch the news, bodies, children and stuff are being blown up. So it's good to stay woke, stay conscious, and I think that's what your piece is saying. I'm complete.
I like the way you put that, Vanetta, because you talked about peace. Yeah, when you pray for peace, I always ask God to bless my family, me, have peace and for our enemies, because there's a lot of people don't like the United States. So
That's true.
when we say peace and whatnot, hopefully that's like hopefully people get it in their minds that we're enemies to these people. We didn't have to do anything to them. It's just that what they hear and what they see is always the United States. See people as individuals. The United States is the States. We was not brought here voluntarily. They took us. So the enemies we have out there, I try to ask God to bless them as well because it's a horrible time. But I know in the end, the people read the Bible backwards, they will say it will be peace. It will be. We just got to pray for it, as you said.
Somebody else saying something?
I really like it. It was very short, but very precise and succinct. And also I think you made a reference of turning blood into wine.
Yes.
I think that was very powerful as well, specifically like when you I guess your motivation came from the war in the Middle East. Um, it seems like there's always something going on, but in the name of religion. And that's so powerful.
All right. Selena, I thought it was so impacting because we do forget, you get so, and they want us to just to stay in a fog and act like we don't know what's going on. And we really don't know what's going on because what we get in the news, that's a smidget of somebody's perspective about what's going on. We really don't get to see the real deal. And there are wars going on all over. There are a whole lot more that we don't even know about. There's always a war in Africa. There are wars all over the world. So it's so we do need to continue to pray for peace. And I'm so grateful to you for wanting to write about that because it shocked everybody. It was like, boom, reality. Don't forget about this. Don't forget about that. And I thought about the Venezuelans, and all the problems that are happening in the city right now. And I knew it. So this is going to be, this is going to be bad. The homeless, it's just really bad right now. So, and how many people are in jail? I meant to mention this earlier when she was talking about slavery. That's the new slavery, incarceration. Look up the numbers. Look up the numbers and see how many Black people are in jail all over this country. So many, to the point where, it's probably more in than out. We have a lot of people who are jailed and missing. So yeah, there's a lot happening, and if we don't stay woke, we really we and stay just in our world, we really won't be able to impact the world like we should. We all are here for a reason, and even if it's your prayer, even if it's just your prayer, that mighty prayer could make a change. So I thank you for bringing that up. And yeah, that blood into wine, um, that hit me in my chest. I was like, okay, that's yeah, we wish we could that we could have change like that, but we need to say these things. We need to speak aloud. We need to speak on them. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing what we're doing right now. So we pray for it, decree it. I couldn't even imagine waking up every day the bombs going off. We got enough. We have bullets, but bombs. That's got to be crazy. That's got to be crazy. So thank you, Selena. So well put. So short and sweet. I would like some more painting the picture, but if that's all you got to say, that's all you got to say.
Kathy, I just want to say to her, she says she don't like sharing, but thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
And I like the way you said that, Kathy. You said killed and missing, because there's a lot of Black people missing.
Millions. Okay, millions. It's crazy how
Yeah,
many. Yeah. Look it up. So we, you stay in your bubble, or you can wake up, and at least take care of you. Make sure you're okay. Don't get caught out there. Don't get picked up. All right. Beautiful. How you feel about your feedback?
Good. Thank you. I appreciate it. This one of the goals for myself was to build my confidence in sharing. If I call myself a writer and a poet, I have to be able to present that to people and just not keep to myself. So like I said, this is a safe space for me to practice building that muscle. I get very nervous every time. And I liked what I love about the feedback is that its intended point was to present shock and make people want more. And that's all I wanted to give. Just those couple of lines. That was it. So I'm glad that it had the impact of like, well, is there more? No. that's all it is to this piece. That is all it is to this piece. And I thank everybody and appreciate your time to listen.
Oh, okay. All right, beautiful. No, thank you. And that's the whole point. When you write and share, you are sharing yourself with the world, and you got to be prepared for that. You got to kind of let it roll off your back. You can't let it trip you out, because you say it's and the more you do it, the better you feel about it, and the louder and stronger you'll get with it. But people are listening, so you're informing them, you're educating them, and you're giving them the strength to do it also, because it's not easy for anybody. I still get nervous. Everybody still gets nervous, so that's normal. It's okay. And everybody has a moment where it doesn't go so well for you. And everybody has the best moment ever. You just got to take it, and roll with it. It's going to be whatever it is you learn from it, but it's really powerful to speak aloud. So I'm really glad. And it's how we heal. It's how we manifest. You can write it down, you could think about it, but when you speak it, okay, the power of the tongue, when you speak it, that's when you decree it. That's when it's going to start moving in. You're making it happen. Okay. So please write what you want to happen in your work. Okay. Please write what you want to manifest in your work. Don't forget about that part. We write about our pains. Okay. We write what we've been through. We write, but let's write about what we want to see too, and what we want changed. And that's like a prayer. It's a manifestation. It's a decree. Just put it out there. Be bold enough to say it. So I'm going to ask if there's no. I think Vanetta, you have a little more you want to read.
No, I'll wait till next week.
Are you sure? Okay. It's up to you. All right. Anybody else? Anything else you would like to share before we go? And it could be a thought. It could be something that you're thinking about right now. After everything's been said this week, today. What's something that's on your heart right now that you would want to write about and you haven't? What do you want to speak into the universe and manifest? Not even just for yourself, but for the world. Start with you, Nisi.
Okay. Can you come back to me? I gotta think about that
I
for
don't
a
want you
minute.
to think too long. Okay, don't
Huh?
think too long. This needs to come right up off the top. Somebody just jump in there.
Let's see.
Um, did I read in my mind to you all? I don't remember. What's in my mind?
No, you can read that.
Did I read it before?
I don't think so. It might, maybe. I don't know. It sounds a little familiar, but I'm not sure.
Okay. What's in my mind? People say the mind is a terrible thing to waste. God has placed everything in me that I needed. But what's in my mind? So many stories, ups and downs, to love and to be loved, to have peace and joy, having struggles, stress, challenges, heartbreaks, sympathy and grief, loneliness, being accepted, reality, marriages and families, education and work. Foremost, God is in my mind. My heart is fixed, and my mind is made up to be all that God has called me to be, to love myself and others, to honor and obey Him, to trust in Him, to love Him, to prioritize Him. If I do all these things, I will have eternal life. In my mind, it never's too late because the way has already been made. In my mind, I must follow Him who created me in His likeness and in His image. The mind sends signals to the heart while it regulates it, like the blood floating through me. The heart is like the engine supplying the fuel that keeps it pumping the blood throughout my body. What's in my mind is what God placed there. Listen for His voice. It's in my mind to do His will. He is the tree, I am the vine. Without the tree, there would be no life. What's in my mind? To be all God had called me to be, to live or die trying. Okay. As long as I try, He will provide. Thank you, Lord, for my mind, for you to keep me, lead me, and guide me. What's in my mind is eternal life, forever and ever. That's what's in my mind. I'm complete.
All right. Thank you, Miss Betty.
Wow, that
Mhm.
was wow. You was writing that for a while. I mean, while we were sitting here, just
Oh,
holding.
no. But I did write it in one day, though, but I didn't write it today.
Oh, okay. As always, you're on point.
Thank
And,
you.
you know, concentrating on God. That's the most important thing, right? Our creator. And it's nice just to hear that, because when I hear it, when I hear you, because you're always making sure that God is somewhere in your midst. And that is so cool. I like it. I like the way it rhymes.
Thank
The poems. Keep it up. Doing great. I'm complete.
You can
you.
unmute somebody else.
Oh, the- so you want us to think about what's on our minds? That's what
Well,
because, huh?
she got me. I said, tell me what's on your mind that you want to manifest. So she
Yeah.
already wrote the poem.
What's on my mind is I just pray that we as blacks can come together now with everything going on, because we have to stick together now, and that's been on my mind a lot lately. Um, and something we really have. We've been so separated most of our lives. It's time to come together.
That's true. All right, thank you. Somebody else?
Yeah, I agree with what she just said, that it's time to come together, because I have heard so many people talk about, oh, the election, the election. I heard that. I, I pray that everybody wake up and say to themselves the way they voted, because you hear a lot. Yeah, I could sit on the bus, I could be on the train, I could be wherever, and then, yeah, so many of the Puerto Ricans, they voted for Trump, and some of my friends voted for Trump. Okay, that's it. Think about what's important now. They know we don't stick together, and
Right.
and they dwell on that separated and conquer.
Yeah.
You know? So we really need to look at what's ahead. How we gonna play this? Because whenever he do whatever he do, it's not a question mark to me because this man already said what he's gonna do.
Mhm.
What we have to do is look towards trying to help each other. As every other nationality stick together, we the only ones that don't. We gotta understand that now is the time. We need to come together now because it's necessary. It's really necessary. Get it out of the just stick together because right now it's not a time to be divided.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's the
We
truth.
have no choice, right? We have no choice. It's, at this point, we have no choice.
Back. They gotta look back and see where we were to where
Mhm.
we are now and try to come together to because as they said, the people that stick together it's still coming more when it's people that stick together fighting all for the same goal. And
Mhm.
we be fighting for a cause goal, you know.
Yeah.
Like no more stop hiding stuff from us. We know now. Now we gotta join forces and try to,
Mhm.
stick together one.
All right, I agree.
I'm complete.
I agree. All right. Anybody else? So that
On
you
my
putting that out
mind.
there. You putting that out there. Put it out there. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
What's on my mind is that we need to remember who's in control. God is in control, not man. Trump is only human. So many people are being very negative right now, talking about, oh, Trump's going to be in office. And I'm very scared. But God had not given us that spirit of fear,
Right.
but of power and a sound
Uh-oh.
mind. So who shall we be afraid of? Trump is human. Trump can drop dead tomorrow.
That's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
And another thing, we have a Democratic and a Republican. Uh, uh, you know the word I'm using. So
Mhm.
he's not making all. He can make all the decisions he wants, but he doesn't have the power to change the laws. It's up to those that are in office. You
That's
know,
Amen.
right.
and
Amen.
so we don't have to be afraid. I mean, why
Amen.
should we be afraid? We know who's in control. God
That's
is in
right.
control.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
Thank
you.
and
you.
as far
Thank
as
you
us
for that, Renata.
black on black
Thank you,
crime, that's
Sam.
really what's on my mind. You know, people
Mm.
Exactly.
stop killing each other
That's right.
because there's
Uh-oh.
so much black on black crime. You
Yes.
know, and
Yeah. We need to wake up.
that's all I got to say about that.
All right.
Well,
I
very
just pray. We just need to be prayerful. So much is
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
going on. Look at the first day of the new year. You know what happened? So much is going on.
Yeah.
But still, we can't be fearful. We just gotta stay woke, be alert, and pray, and know who's in control. It's not that orange man. We give him
Amen.
too much power.
Yeah, absolutely. I say that all the time.
Benjamin.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanetta.
It on the
Who else? What you gonna put out there?
Amen.
You have to declare it with your tongue, But what else? Who has something else they want to put out there? Before we wrap it up, Selena, got anything else? Kwamina, you want to say something, Janine?
Oh, yeah, so sorry. Very brief though. What's on my mind? I think as the New Year's has started, when they're talking about like so many people are lonely at home, so many kids are mainly focused on their devices, and then the mental health crisis is very high. People are committing suicide or homicidal, killing each other. um I do hope to 2025 people are more connected, show more compassion and empathy for each other, and have grace for each other as well. That's what's on my mind.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Come on, anybody else? Did you go? Kwame, Selena, Caroline, anything? Anybody else?
I'll go. I was thinking of not going because as I was listening to what everyone was saying, it brought a lot to my mind that may seem contrary to what folks are saying here, but know that I'm saying it with my heart. And I may, seem like a bit of the rebel child of the group. Um, but what is on my mind is, and I'm so happy mental health and caring and empathy was brought up. I think that we have to prepare ourselves to save ourselves. Really focus on God, because God is the answer. It never was politics. Republican and Democrat, no matter who you are, it's the same devil on the different sides of the coin. No matter who's in office, no matter who you believe. Obama was never our savior. In terms of having the healing and care that we need in our communities, it's important for us to understand that the safest communities have resources, not police, and that we should be fighting like hell for resources in our community. Mental health resources, housing resources, food resources. Those are the things that stop people from killing people.
That's right.
Particularly in our community when it's divested the way that it is. You know, whether it's Black on Black crime, Mexican on Mexican crime, white on white crime, proximity violence is a real thing. You will kill the closest person next to you. And so in any community, there is crime. So that's why I typically say Black on Black crime is a myth. We tend to kill each other for survival and mental health problems, while people who are much more wealthier kill each other to cash out life insurance policies because they're whiter and richer. That doesn't mean that they're not killing each other too. We just don't hear about it as much. It's not put on the news as much. So we have to not succumb to perpetuating that narrative, I think, of self-hate. Violence happens everywhere. And so that's why it's important for us to focus on fighting for resources in our communities. If we're going to lean on any politician, make sure that they are bringing resources to our community so that we are not hungry, so that and therefore not stealing, so that we are cared for, and that we're not having mental health crises, and that we're not desperate, you know, and acting out of desperation and anger and you know, a life of scarcity and survival instead of thriving. So that's what's on my mind. More love, more resources, more empathy. So I'll leave it there. And I say all of that with love and no disrespect to anybody.
Nobody's taking
We
any
receive
disrespect.
it. We
You
receive it.
receive everything. There's
Yes.
truth.
So
You
long.
know? Truth is truth.
Yeah.
How beautiful would it be to see people giving out food in Brownsville, you know, taking care of each other like we supposed. I write about it because it used to be like that, you know, and I want people to know it could still be like that. You know, the next part of my book, you see brother, you know, Truth getting the men together because they're getting plans together to make sure everybody has what they need. That's the only reason why that part of my book is not is fictional and not truth, because I don't know that, you know, that happened, but I know that that's what usually would happen, you know, when I was coming up in Brownsville, you know. So we definitely need resources. I've been in meetings where they're discussing and what could be done for Brownsville and East New York. It's not, they don't even call it a food desert anymore. They're like it's a what do they call it? A food swamp. That's how bad it is where fresh food is concerned. Like you don't get a lot of fresh vegetables and organic stuff and all, you know, what you really need. The food where here compared to there is it's just incredible how different it is. So it's unfair. It really is unfair. And then people don't even know to fight because they don't realize, they think that this is just how it is. It's not. It shouldn't be that way. But thank you for saying that, Celine. Anybody else before we go? What do you want to put out there?
I
Okay.
would say
Mhm.
appreciation, gratefulness, and thankfulness
Mhm.
with a sense of appreciation for, I was in Jamaica and we have internet here, they have internet there, but when I look at what was going on, they're paying for this service and I could hardly use the internet, and even some of the hotels too, because someone was in a hotel and I asked the person, said, were you able to get internet? Like, we're in the States. They were like, nope, it was given a lot of problem. So,
Mhm.
I sat back and I said, wow, I don't think I could deal with this.
Mhm.
I'm paying for a service and I'm not receiving it. I would have to find some other ways of going around paying for it. Some other platform I would have to maybe get it or just do without or just get a phone card. And when I need to call someone overseas, I utilize the card. But just to pay for, it's like me here. Sometimes, sometimes our phone drop the call, but this was just constant. So for like couple days, no service, then it comes on. The phone is just jumping, and you might get a call here, then it goes back out. So I'm thankful and grateful with, appreciation for
Okay.
the little things.
All right. Thank you, Caroline. That's a great point to bring up because people don't have resources that we have, and we're missing resources too. So it's yeah. Sometimes you forget, what should be what's available to a lot of people. Everybody doesn't get, Sometimes you don't even know right next door. I didn't know until COVID hit that so many people on the ground. So many people can't afford cable. Everybody just has broken fire sticks, and some of them were not even getting the news. They didn't even know what was going on. All right, y'all. So we things that we're asking for. These are the things we are decreeing. Okay, I want to thank you once again for being on. Myself, I say that all the time, and it just makes my life to see your faces every Saturday. And we're going to do this. This is going to be a powerful book. Everybody's working on something amazing. So we're just going to keep on going, plug away, keep on writing. I'm working on us getting a retreat. So because people keep complaining that they just need some space and some time to just write, So I'm working on it. Okay, we're gonna have us a retreat. We're gonna have us a night retreat. Okay, and we're still gonna do our trip to DC too. So we got to get these things together. But yeah, we're gonna keep our heads up, and we are united. So hopefully we can be an example to others. Everybody needs to find community within community, and help each other out. If there's something that you're really having an issue with, please let me know. Because and we have people who are in the workshop who have all kinds of backgrounds. You never know. Somebody might be able to help you find a place. Somebody might be able to help you find a job. Somebody you never know. So please, let me know if there's anything that you need help with. Okay. That's how we're doing 2025. We're reaching out to each other and we're holding on to each other. Okay. All right. All right.
All right.
All right, y'all. We're gonna have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was great.
Welcome. I'm glad you came on and you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Keep writing, okay?
All right. You
All
too.
right.
Love you.
Love you all.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Kathy?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm still on.
what, the 13th?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, the 13th. Yeah, we meet the 13th.
Okay. Don't make sure
Okay.
Jeffries.
Yeah, the 13th we meet. So I might send something out before.
All right.
Okay.
Miss Kathy, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I would make sure our membership due.
Oh yeah, we should have mentioned that. Yeah.
I was trying, but all right, next time.
But you know what I have to do with you and Gail? I'm gonna send you. We need everybody's email addresses and make a group email that we could just send to everybody at one time, so it'll be easy. Okay. So I usually send whenever I send the recording, I usually send it on a group one, and I'll make sure everybody's on there. So then you could follow up with and just hit reply all and just send an additional message about the dues. That'll make it easy.
Yeah, we need to do that. Okay.
Okay. All righty.
All right.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Later.
Okay. Bye. Later.
Later.
Okay.
See you later.